What's up, future millionaires? Billy Wilson here. I'm here with my six-figure agency student, Alan Porter, and he actually reached a six-figure income in just 6 months. So I wanted to get him on here for an interview for you guys to be able to provide you guys the most amount of value and really learn from somebody that's been able to build a six-figure income so fast to figure out what he's doing differently. So I really hope you guys can get a lot of value out of this video. I'm going to be asking Alan some hard questions to really dive deep into his brain to figure out what has made him successful in such a short period of time. So with that said, thank you so much for joining me on this call, Alan. And if you could just share your whole kind of story for us, so people watching have a background on your story, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, of course. So I'm 28 years old. I had an interesting upbringing. We were speaking about this earlier, but I actually dropped out of high school, kind of found my way a little bit earlier in my 20s, and tried to take the traditional route. So I went as a financial advisor or financial representative for a bit. Then it wasn't for me. I knew that I wanted to make money online, but I wasn't sure how. So I actually found a job as a media buyer November 2018. So I left my comfy bank job, took a risk, went to a startup, and then I was looking online and I needed something for Facebook ads, and I saw your video. A little bit later on, I kept checking out your channel and I saw that you made 10,000 in a month. I was like, well, if this guy can make it, why couldn't I? So needless to say, I started feeling the pressure from the startup, and I was like, okay, I can do this by myself. I got the skills now. At that point in time, I kind of completed your course, started reaching out to businesses, and was able to close my first client in late February.
Yeah, exactly. And that's awesome. And one thing I want to make clear here is Alan, when I say 6 months to six figures, I mean Alan literally started from zero to six figures. A lot of times when people kind of say those short time frames, they mean they already had an agency with a few clients and then they went up to six figures in like 3 months.
Nice.
So he legitimately started from zero, no sales experience, just a little bit of marketing experience. Like for like 3 months, he was learning about Facebook ads. That's pretty much it. So it's as far as like a similar situation to myself, it's pretty dang similar.
Yeah.
I actually have a graph that I might show you guys later in this video of his growth versus my growth when I first took my first course. And just as like a heads up, Alan, and I just want to be completely honest and realistic with you guys so you know like exactly what to expect when starting an agency. So Alan spent about 2 months learning before he started reaching out to his first client. So when I say 6 months, it's pretty much when he reached out to his first client all the way to a six-figure income, which would be $8,333 per month or more in US dollars. So that's kind of like the statistics that we're using from his reaching out to his first client. So it's still, no matter what, it's like an absolutely amazing accomplishment. And like you were saying, another reason that I love making these videos with people like you is because the people watching this, and I remember that's the same way that I ended up first started, is I was in college and I saw people make videos like this, and I literally knew like just by watching them, if they're doing it at like 20 years old, 20 something years old, I could 100% do this rather than go to college for 4 years and then work my way up the corporate ladder and kind of become a millionaire that way, which was my original plan. So that's another reason I really wanted to make this video, is just to inspire you guys to know what's possible, because there's lots of people out there doing this. So really excited to see and learn from Alan in this video. So let's start jumping into the more of the little bit hard questions.
Cool.
But I was wondering, what was the biggest challenge you faced while growing your agency to six figures?
Truthfully, the fact that at least, like I said, I'm a little bit older, I needed money. So, I mean, you have money in the savings, but like I said, I could feel the pressures from the startup. So I was like, how am I going to be able to replace that income and obviously grow that? So that was really it. It's not that I was so focused on the money, but I knew that it was a numbers game. So I knew that I had to reach out to hundreds of businesses in order to get that either 1, 2, 3 person close. I think that was the hardest hurdle, but even then, like it was almost fun. It was almost, you get used to hearing no all the time, that it's like, you can just switch it. You can pretty much say anything. Like well, not say anything, but you can pretty much come at it in so many different approaches because you're taking so many different attempts that that eventually over time it snowballs and you realize what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And I can already see that's one of the traits that's obviously separated Alan is, one, the massive action, and two, the mindset that he's actually enjoying getting the no's, which is really interesting. So those are the biggest two keys that I take away from that first challenge already. But besides that, besides like the money aspect of it and of switching over from like a normal job
Mhm.
to, and I can definitely understand that. It's like a huge mindset shift too. Like you're not knowing if you're going to get the money or not. That's a
Yeah.
huge difference. And kind of like the risk you got to be willing to take in order to get the reward. So what were some of the other like two other biggest challenges to growing your agency to six figures? Like maybe it was getting your clients the results they wanted, or was it like getting meetings set, or was it closing the clients? Like what were the other biggest challenges that you had?
Yeah, so I mean, certainly the results. I had a little bit experience with media buying before, but it's totally different for lead generation. Like you're generating the leads, but the clients that take them on. Actually, I'm gonna take a step back. I guess it's qualifying the clients to setting the expectations right that you are generating the opportunities. They need to take the opportunity and kind of seize it. So you can generate as many leads as you want, but if they don't have that equal commitment, it's going to be tough to produce results, right? So that's what I noticed off the bat. So thankfully, I learned that early on, where I was able to adjust it and set the mind straight with my clients that I have now. Um, Two, um, it would certainly be how can you add more value? There are certain ways. I mean, when a lead comes in, there's so many different things that happen after the actual opportunity presents itself. Um, how can I set my clients up for success, whether it be a CRM, whether it be a follow-up system? You know what I mean? We talked about Zapier a little bit, email campaigns, whatever it is, SMS. How can I add more value? That was the most important thing, and how can you separate yourself from other lead generation companies?
Yeah, exactly. That's an amazing point because obviously this industry is growing because it's such a good opportunity. So you guys always have to be thinking about what is going to separate your agency from the rest. And one thing that's really helped me and helps a lot of my students is understanding the biggest pain points of businesses because a lot of businesses have had some kind of bad experience with marketing in the past. So if you can figure out what that is, and then you're able to pretty much fix that with your agency. So like for example, a big problem that a lot of them have is they might have got leads, but maybe they weren't good quality or they didn't know how to close them, or maybe they didn't get any leads at all. If you know what the company's bad experience with marketing was, you can then come up with a solution to their bad experience and then be able to provide them a much better experience. And the actual closing thing, part of the clients that Allan mentioned, is hugely important. This is a huge one that a lot of people miss, especially beginners. For me personally, I didn't know this until like probably like 12 months in or more after
Yeah.
starting my agency that the clients are not good most of the time at closing the leads because they just don't aren't willing to put in the effort. They don't realize that they have to. It's like a team, like kind of like a teamwork relationship where they have to put in the work to actually contact the leads to make sure they do a good job as far as what they say, that they text the leads back, and do everything in an effective manner. So that's an important thing to remember with your agency is the most important thing that I do. Now you can set up systems like Allan has, for example, he has, I think like automatic text message sequences and like email sequences that go out. I set up some of those too for some of my clients, not all of them. But the most important thing besides all of that is if you don't want to do that work for that stuff, which you can do it either way. One thing is make sure you find a great quality client that's going to actually close the leads and that preferably has like some kind of proof of them previously closing leads. Or at the very least, setting the expectation that of like exactly what they should expect. So, for example, a lot of times will tell clients like, look, you're out of like 100 leads, you might only get 50 to 60 of them to actually like respond to your call or your text messages. And then from there, you might only get like 30% of them to book. So you just got to realize, you just have to like explain to them that most of them are not going to end up closing, but they're still going to get amazing return based on the ones that do, as long as they're following the process in place. And just for you guys, there's like extra value. I guess the system that I usually recommend is doing um, like have your client do a phone call, leave a voicemail, and then leave a text message with a very simple question they can answer. Um, and then also follow up with text messages like one the next day and the other next day after that. You can also have them call them too, but that would be like the bare minimum. 3 text messages, 1 call, 1 voicemail. That'd be like the bare minimum that I recommend, preferably like 2 or 3 calls as well. So, Alan, how overall has making so far? I mean, it's only been a couple months since you've been making six figures, but how has that changed your life so far?
Amazing. honestly amazing. Like, and it's not to boast or anything like that, but what I would make in a year salary at a traditional job, I was able to make in 3 months, but even 2 months. You know what I mean? So it's outstanding. Um, I've obviously personal goals. I have a girlfriend that I certainly want to take that relationship further. You know what I mean? So expenses coming up. So without this, I honestly couldn't even imagine. I wouldn't be able to afford where I want to go without this. So this has brought a whole new opportunity and opened my mind so that there's so much more.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Besides like the monetary part, how is like work from home and stuff like that?
It's good. It's good. I love it. It's a shift. Like it's you have to be self-motivating, right? So you have to ensure that obviously you're pushing yourself, and clients will do that. They'll certainly push you in specific ways, but no, I love it. I love it. Like I couldn't imagine going back to a traditional office, not being able to wear what I want. You know what I mean? When I want, going to the gym whenever I want. Like it's fantastic that way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So overall, like, what's your plans for the next 12 months? Like, what do you want to grow to, or like, what's your plans overall?
12 months. So I have a plan for 21 months. So by the time I'm 30, I'd like to bring on anywhere between 33 and 55 clients. Right now, I'm trying to productize my services. So almost like a cookie cutter, but I have 3 different tiers that you can select from and just grow it, produce results. I think once you're able to produce results on a consistent basis, especially in a volatile profession like this, then you'll get the referrals, you get the more business, and it kind of grows from there.
Yeah, 100%. That's like the main thing I've been focusing on
Yeah.
is it's always easier to just keep your clients than to like have to get new ones every single month. So like
Yeah.
I'll actually maybe just show my screen the graph right now so you guys can see, but I made a graph of my progress for versus Allen's here, and let me pull this up. Allen, can you see that?
Yeah.
So this is a graph of the blue line is Allen's progress. The say with month one is basically like first time that we bought a course.
Right.
The red line is actually me, my first like 9 months, and you can see what client retention does. You can see how Allen's graph it never went down the entire time, compared to mine was like up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's why client retention is hugely important. Actually, getting them amazing results,
100%.
because then you're like rather than riding a roller coaster, you're literally just like climbing a mountain straight up to the top, and it's not like you're falling down all the time and stumbling. So yeah, that's like the main thing. If you're struggling with losing clients a lot, I would take some time now to figure out how you can get them consistent results, because it's way easier to grow your agency when you're just like stacking on clients. You'll also get more referrals. And that's like the easiest way that you can separate yourself from other agencies, because most other agencies, like they're good at selling clients. But if you're just good at getting your clients results, you don't even have to be that good at selling. So,
It's true. It sells itself.
yeah, 100%. So let's see if I can get this full screen again. I'm not sharing my screen anymore, right, Alan?
No, you're not. No.
Okay, cool. So I guess my last question is, do you have any advice that you'd want to give to either people that are just starting out or thinking about starting an agency, or maybe they have like 1 to 2 clients? What is like the biggest pieces of advice that you would give them?
It's a numbers game. If you think about it, and we touched on this before, like when you generate leads, the relationship is so different than from a referral. You know what I mean? So if you're looking to grow your business, you have to be shooting numbers. You have to be going out, Facebook messaging, LinkedIn, email, call, whatever it is, in your specific niche, and try to bring on new clients. That's number one. That can't stop. That needs to be consistent. Two, it's just don't give up. I mean, you produce results, you're going to get referrals. I'm now getting referrals. Like honestly, it's a mindset thing. If you give up, you're going to fail. If you don't give up, you'll be able to succeed. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for taking the time on this
No
call, Alan.
worries.
People are going to love this, I think.
No worries.
So hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thank you once again, Alan.
Awesome. Thank you.